Okay, so we are reading today chapter 1, sections 4 and 5. So section 4 is the escape from darkness. And I think this was my favorite part of our reading today. And it was funny because I started off underlining every sentence and I thought, oh, okay, it's one of those days. But in fact, I don't know, it was probably where my mind was freshest, but I'm just going to read this opening paragraph. It says, the escape from darkness involves two stages. First, the recognition that darkness cannot hide. This step usually entails fear. Second, the recognition that there is nothing you want to hide, even if you could. This step brings escape from fear. When you have become willing to hide nothing, you will not only be willing to enter into communion, but will also understand peace and joy. Oh man, I think this hits me because I feel the liberation. Like, you know, I can think of times in my life where I was trying to hide something, or I didn't want somebody to know something, or I was just trying to to hide it. And you know, maybe let's say I think I got away with something or I didn't get away with something, but the idea that if you approach life like wanting everything unhelpful or untrue or that's a block to come up, man, what a benefit that is. Like if they could teach that in high school, like, you know, and I know many people have interpreted what's going on in the US government as things that needed to come up and be seen. But it's just like, you don't want things hidden because it's like a poison beneath the surface, like I don't know why I'm thinking of the word vermin, but it's like an infestation that it just has to come up. And okay, I just got this flash. I don't know if I ever shared this. I remember when I lived in DC, actually, for grad school, I lived in a really amazing house which had a basement, and it was a beautiful home. And when I moved in with a friend of mine, two girls were moving out, and we kind of saw like, ooh, they are a little on the dirty side. I mean, they were really like wealthy because they left us all this stuff, and they left us, you could just tell they just had a lot of money, and yet not so clean. So we were telling the landlord like a couple times, like, oh, I think we saw a cockroach, like a couple. And we just were like, and she was just so on it. She was like, okay, well, let me have somebody come and like spray the house, right? So they sprayed, and then we said again, like, I don't know how much time passed, but we're still seeing those. And so she sprayed again. And then I think I've told this before, but we lived in the basement. There was a main level. There was an upstairs and a third, no, I guess main level and upstairs, which was, you know, three, whatever. And one day, I don't know if she heard a noise, but she opened the vent on the third floor and the cockroaches poured out. Okay, I think, you know, traumatized because she was looking up and they came out. But this idea of like, there's like maybe a glimpse of something, or there's like a red flag, there's a sign that there's something going amiss, and you apply pressure of any kind, and it's just like a volcanic eruption. But I just think that was such a strong visual. As we like heard from her later, like what happened, we were like, oh shoot. But that's kind of what I think, just that's the nature of life. Anything unlike love or anything that's in the darkness lurking will be seen. And so for someone who wants to hold on to the darkness, that's what's fearful. But for someone who says, great, all I want is light, I don't want anything else, okay, then you're going to know peace and joy because you're going to be liberated. You're not going to be in the shackles of your guilt and shame and all that. So thank you for that long moment. But that's what came to me. And it says later, darkness is lack of light, as sin is lack of love. Okay, which helps us from yesterday's reading, where if you notice a sinner or someone who's acting out, like Justine has had kind of shorter naps and she just seems more needy. And I'm just trying my best to hold in mind that she's acting like this because she is needy. She is needy. She feels tired, you know? And I'm trying not to be like, oh, you know, I need to be able to put you to, she's been wanting me to carry her around. I'm like, dude, almost 30 pounds for a long time each day. But it's that idea, like, this is, she, if all was well, she would be less needy, but anyway. So then just to touch quickly before I talk forever, she does help me get to the point, you know, when she's crawling around, I'm like, I'm sure I have half sentences and like not even full thoughts, but the next section is section 5, wholeness and spirit. And what stood out to me was in the first paragraph, it says, well, okay, it says, okay. I'll just read the sentence I like, which is, while you believe you are in a body, however, you can choose between loveless and miraculous channels of expression. So the Course is based on the tenet that we are not the body, and the body is a learning device. It's not our identity. We're not meant to think, this is me, you know. We're meant to think, this is my learning device. My spirit is housing this learning device. And it's saying, well, you believe you're in this, because at the other level, this is an illusion. So the real you is at home with God. You already have everything. You're in the kingdom. You're the queen of the kingdom. You know, you're on the throne. You're like set. And somehow there's a split in the mind or something where you also believe you're here and that this is you and that you have a job and you have to sweep and clean and pay bills and drive cars, you know. But it says, while you believe you're in a body, you can choose between loveless and miraculous channels of expression. So you get to choose, like, okay, I'm here. I'm here to be a conduit of miracles. Instead of, you know, I'm here to set up my retirement, and which is fine, you know, but you've got an even bigger role as well, in addition. And okay, and the last thing is that it says, when you see your brothers, it says, all of my brothers are special. If they believe they're deprived of anything, their perception becomes distorted. When this occurs, the whole family of God or the sonship is impaired in its relationships. And so this is like the oneness factor. Like anyone you see struggling, which is a judgment. So if you see people with a lack of love mentality, or who are sinning, or who are hurting others, their perception's distorted, and you need their, it's like, and love is the healer. So somehow the only sane response is to send love, or that's so overrated, right? Or overused. It's just to judge someone who's already crazy or insane in this, like not insane mentally, like who's like so hurting or hurt or demented or confused. You know, you wouldn't do that if you thought that they were like mentally impaired or physically paralyzed. I don't, you get it. You know, it's like we need everyone in the sonship to get right with their truth. And we can't do it for them, but we can just hold that and so the other thing in the reading was that everyone's got the light. It's like everyone has the candle. And in the video I filmed before, which was totally interrupted and just shut off, I was talking about how lights with dimmer switches, like it could be all the way down, or as the vibration lifts and you align more fully, it's all the way up, the light is bright. But everyone has the electric current flowing through them, and everyone has a spark. It's just you don't know